So I want to make this video on how you can get better at making decisions, right? Because if you want your life to get better, obviously you're gonna have to make different decisions. Like, think about it. Picture someone who's overweight, or they're not happy with their weight. It's like the reason that they're in that position is because they've made decisions of an unhealthy person, right? It's literally just the decision-making process. And it's not until they start making the decisions of someone who is healthy and fit that they're going to start changing, right? Now, where does your decision-making come from, right? That's more in terms of like the programming and everything, which we'll get into that a little later. But for now, it's like, how do you make better decisions? So there's really two main points I want to discuss here. If you're not clear on these, like, life's going to be very tough for you. So here's one. Right, because in the average day, right, you're going to make a certain amount of decisions. So, like, I was just having a chat the other day with my friend Yusuf, and he was explaining how living in New York City. I'm out in Jersey City right now, right, and we were in New York and everything. And he was explaining how in the average day in New York, you are exposed to and bombarded with more information in a single day than most people are in an entire week, which is pretty interesting, right? And with that, you have to get good at thinking on your feet and making decisions. And so as for you watching this, there's certain decisions that you're either putting off or you do have to make, or you're unclear on. And so here's the two steps, right? Step one is you got to look at what decisions can you automate. What's a decision that you can make one more decision and then never have to do it again? Or like once a week, right? Such as, what clothes are you going to wear, on a typical day? Or what are you going to eat for food? Right? Or who's your partner, right? Like is your relationship like committed and solidified, right? So that's step one, is you got to look at what are the decisions in your life that you can just make one time and then they're set. So just take a moment and actually write that down for yourself, right? Now here's the other part with decision making is you got to now look at how can you put yourself into situations where you can just push yourself to make decisions. Like, don't be hasty, like don't be stupid about it, but realize that you can develop something called self-trust over time, and that self-trust and your ability to make good decisions, like as long as you're clear on your goal and your purpose, right, it's like then you can just make decisions in accordance with that, and then you might have to keep making decisions to course correct and get yourself back on track. And so rather, instead of looking at how can I minimize decisions or how can I take my time with them, rather just look at like how can you up your ability to make way more, right? Because when you can do that, it's like a superpower, right? Like being able to decide is really a superpower, and it's like a skill you can develop. And so that's what I'm in the midst of right now. Is like I'm out here, I'm headed back to Minnesota tonight, but it's fun because when you throw yourself in a new environment with new people or just people with, just bring community together, things like that. It's like you have to make certain decisions of how you're going to help direct people and direct the situation so you can get the intended result. And if you're uncomfortable with making decisions or thinking at a fast pace or moving at a fast pace, sorry, you ain't going to be very successful, right? And the way things are headed in the world, it's like things are speeding up, right? We're getting hit with more stuff, more ads, right? More social media apps, all this stuff is coming at us. And instead of then shrinking and being afraid of it, rather look at how can you expand yourself? Like how can you actually expand and ramp up your ability to handle that, right? And so if you want to do that, right, you need a bit more of like a systematic approach to everything. But yeah, like if you want to be a beast at decision making, right, throw in the comments beast. And then also leave a comment of what did you learn from this, right? And if you have future questions, because I can elaborate on this, because I've seen that I've done this very well. I know a handful of my close colleagues do this very well also, but it's something that I don't see enough people talking about that are actually in the game right away. Like, it's usually like after someone's already become very successful, they'll say, oh, you have to make great decisions. But in reality, it's like you want to see the day in and day out grind of what that looks like. And these are a couple things that have helped me extremely well, right? So the first is automate the decisions that you don't need to make every day. Then the second is get really good, like throw yourself in environments where you're forced to make a bunch of decisions. And then as you can do that, over time, right? Like steadily over time, you become like superhuman. What up, YouTube? All right, give me your next 90 seconds and this is about to blow your freaking mind. So let's look at your life. Where do you want to be? Are you fully happy with where you're at? Or is there a next level that you can get to and also stay at? right? Because it's one thing to get to the next level, it's another thing to stay there. Now, how do you get there, right? So let's look at these people that, you know, society tends to idolize. You got Elon Musk, right? Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, you know, give or take, Oprah, Drake, right? These people that we would say are at the top in terms of their effectiveness. Those people, right? They're also people, right? They got 2 eyes, 2 ears, a mouth, right? A body, a brain. What's the difference? Right? What's the difference between them and you? If they're at the top, they have billions of dollars, and you're over wherever you're at with however much money's in your bank account. What's the difference? Right? Is it just they're more intelligent or they got lucky? No. It's very simple. It's called programming. They are programmed for success, and they're programmed to be able to hold on to that success when you're at whatever level of programming you're at. Now, for those of you who are willing to be honest about this and then want to change that for real, guess what? We have a private Discord group that you can join for yourself. Now, there is a requirement. You hop in and you got to get on a call so we can see if you're real or not. But aside from that, there's an elite group of people that are getting to the top and staying at the top, so we can use that influence to actually create a better world once and for all. So if you want to join, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Peace.